Welcome, everybody. I'm back with JP for the SWCCG graded update for July 2026. It is summertime. It is hot, JP. It's good to be back. Wow, so much has been going on sales-wise, exciting things, grading chaos, all that stuff. Yeah, how we got to get into a bunch of different stuff here. But as always, we're going to start with our contest. So for the month of June, we did anything Boba Fett based on, what was that, popular demand or poll? I believe we did, right?
It was.
It was, yeah. So I'm going to leave it to you, JP, to speak to all things Boba Fett, and let's kick it off with our low ball.
You got it. It was a really high engaged competition. Everybody that submitted got a lot of different, replies. It was kind of a time to kind of flex and showcase because it was everything Boba Fett, but it wasn't just looking at your graded Boba Fett cards. There were autographs and comics and all kinds of fun things.
Oversized.
So I'm glad we had a great showcasing. So we'll start with lowball. We had 3 or 4 submissions for lowball, which were just fantastic. It's my favorite category. Always I like to submit, and I did submit, and I did flex it out. So if you haven't seen some of the things that were showcased, there's even a Warren Holland autograph on a blank black Star Wars CCG card too, which is pretty cool. If you want to see the creator and founder of Decipher, I have his autograph and I showcased it. So low ball goes to Paul Hubbard. Really good showing of some low ball stuff, and that's why it's some of my favorite, because I think a lot of people are just like, I'm not going to showcase this, it's too low. But with the Boba Fett's blaster rifle PSA 6 and a Boba Fett bounty hunter, which is one of my favorite cards, PSA 7, Paul Hubbard wins the SGC Han Solo 9.0. So
yes.
unlimited. Yes. Super nice. So congratulations, Paul. We'll go to the unique. Unique was one of the bigger submissions. We had a lot of unique is getting to be tougher and tougher to judge, only because you guys are just showcasing some of the most oddball stuff. So it did come down to some of the highest graded unique stuff, because I love the oversized stuff. And yes, they're population 2 with none higher, and they're just super rare.
Right.
But Jax D took it this competition because his cards actually totaled up higher in grade, and that's what it came down to. He had a pretty cool Boba Fett Cloud City PSA 9 and a Boba Fett with blaster rifle. The only oddball piece to this make unique is that was autographed, and that was pretty cool that we're seeing a lot of autos through the competition. But I want to make a note that it wasn't the autograph that pushed all the other grades out. I consider the autograph when judging as just an extra accessory to the card itself, something kind of cool, but it's not brought into the judging numbers, so to speak. But it was pretty cool. Really cool card. Good job, Jax. Jax wins Boba Fett first anthology.
That's right.
7. So first anthology, pretty cool. Hard to find them and hard to grade them. So as we both know, we both have graded it. And that's your old card, right?
This is an old one. I've since swapped it, so this is a duplicate for me. But yes, I secretly have been digging for first anthology clean cards, and it is surprisingly difficult to come across, which is really annoying because I don't want to have to rip new boxes to get it, right? Now, for a while, they used to have these ready to go sort of in the box, like anthology box sealed promos, and you could buy those on eBay for the longest time. They were always around, right? But now that those were bought up because somebody was like, wait a second, this is more rare.
Right.
Naturally, I missed that boat. So if you want to get a set of that in high grade, it's going to be extra difficult. I think there are going to be very low populations with those for a long time in high grades.
Absolutely agree.
Sidebar conversation there, of course. But
and finally, for top pair, we had a lot of great submissions with high grades. Inevitably, Michael Lockwood walked away with first place. He had Boba Fett foil BGS, my favorite Star Wars CCG grader, 9.5, and Boba Fett bounty hunter BGS 9.0. So he gets the Tarkin Jedi pack PSA 8. I believe it's PSA 8.
That's right. Yep.
So
Yep.
another tough thing. Talk about anthologies. Jedi packs are just as equally hard to get and grade nicely.
What a pain to grade those. I mean, you have some tens, but I managed to get all nines, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not ripping
Yeah.
like hundreds of these. Like they're not gonna come back that good. Either the centering or they're dinged or like whatever. I mean, even this one, I think the only reason it was punished was for centering, because otherwise it's a clean card. But it is what it is, right?
Is what it is.
It is what it is. I've accepted that, and that's fine.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
congrats on that. For July, we have Cantina Alien themed cards happening right now. So plenty of time to still jump in on that action. We're looking for aliens in and around the Cantina. It doesn't have to be an alien card. It could be aliens like in the picture, like Tatooine Cantina, right? It could be an effect, could be an interrupt, just something that's Cantina Alien themed. And then for August, we ended up doing a poll, and by popular demand, it looks like Jabba's Palace has been chosen as the category for August. So I'm okay with this because I think this will allow enough people to participate, and that's really what we're looking for. So a lot of people had Boba Fett stuff to show off, which was really cool, and I look forward to all your Jabba's Palace submissions on the following month. With that being said, JP, give us around the horn of what's been going on in the group on the Facebook side.
You bet. So I've had a couple questions. Some new people have jumped in there, which is great. We still haven't had any scams. It's been, I'd say, months, which has been really nice. We've been keeping good, tight security. It's been fun, safe. A lot of people have been selling and buying stuff and showing off all their eBay auctions. So it's been great. So it's steady growth. Good conversations, good engagement. Everything's been good. No riffraff. So the group's been doing good. We're just going to keep running as we are. If you got any questions, please talk to a group expert. Talk to me.
Yeah, we have 1,100 members, so still pretty strong core group of people here, and a lot of activity every day. So if you've been thinking about joining or passively, like if you have any questions, like jump in, because there's activity all the time. This is a very active group. This is not the kind of group you just sign up and it gets, lost and forgotten, right? There's plenty of those. But
absolutely. And there's a lot that goes into grading cards. Believe it. I mean, if you want to be, I don't want to say the word sloppy, but if you want to be not care as much, send your cards in for grading and see what you get in return. This group is full of scholars. These guys, so many people have been grading. We've been grading. I mean, I've been grading almost 15 or 18 years. And there's a lot of information back in the post. There's good questions you can ask. If you need to call upon the group experts, because we already paid the dummy tax, get some answers to how do you grade foils, which is, I haven't even tackled that and gotten good at it. But what expansions grade the best? When's the best time to send for grading? What services? We've got people that will help you along the way. So if you're thinking about you've been doing Star Wars CCG and other groups, and now it's time you want to kind of dip your toes into getting things graded, we're here to help you. It's definitely a community for help. So just wanted to add that.
100%. And of course, with buying, selling, and trading, just yesterday I finished another trade with Robert John for mutually beneficial registry set things, and community's great. So
and let's face it, I would probably say, I used to say there's like 60 or 70% of people that are selling all Star Wars CCG cards are in this group. But that was when we were around 500 or 600 members. If we're up around 1,100, heading towards 1,200, we're going to be close to 80 or 90%. So all the folks that are usually selling, and sometimes we have these admin meetings and group text, group conversations, and we want to know who a particular seller is. If we can't find them in a group, they're just like a rare, very rare bird that they're grading. They're not in the group, or they don't do anything with Facebook, really. And we've had a couple of them that don't want to do anything with Facebook, and that's fine. But we've got other people that are just on the outside that have some fantastic cards to grade. Have lots of success with a lot of their submissions. So again, if this is the way you're catching how to get into the group, please come join. We have the majority of the people that buy, sell, and trade in our group. So we're kind of a nice, close-knit community. and we keep a good control. We track all the sales of sealed product, all the sales
That's
of.
right. Yep.
So we do keep a nice close eye on all the transactions, and kind of help control the pricing that way too, because people know, well, oh, I thought this was going to sell for 1,000. It's really only a $250 PSA 9 card. So it helps you with understanding where your price points are. Is it trending up? Is it trending down? Everything's been trending up here lately, so it doesn't really matter. So please come join, come see what it's all about. And I think that's all I really have in the group. I was just going to say I haven't done a show this month. Both my sons have done shows, and they've just seen just a little bit more of an uptick of Pokemon at the shows. So that's still going strong. But that's only a trend for me. So
yeah, and so looking at speaking of some of the other data, that's been compiled. I mean, what Luke has accomplished with this grading data and the upcoming iterations of what people are tapping into between the updated encyclopedia of collecting, the sealed tracking, the potential for an app. This is really like gaining some traction here in a very exciting way, and it's getting recognized across other groups, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Like the legitimacy is here, which is really exciting to see, right? Just on the horizon. And as technology gets simpler, like for example, listing a card on eBay maybe doesn't have to take 10 minutes. Maybe it could take, maybe somebody could invest in that front from eBay side. Hello, if you're listening. Perhaps we could streamline just access to the information and graded data in even easier ways moving forward. So it's very exciting. I also want to give kind of a recap. I know we have a state of the market, so I don't want to overlap with what Matt Manning does on Board Matt's channel on YouTube. If you haven't checked that out, definitely follow that. They do quarterly updates with that. But I did want to give a kind of overview of where the grading companies kind of stand in terms of overviews and stuff and market share. So last month, PSA graded 2.5 million cards. That's up 21%, right? They do have paused low tier submissions because of their like 12 million card-ish backlog, right? They're still up 74% year over year, and they've been retaining this 73% total market share. CGC did about 600,000 plus cards last month. They do have a Fanatics partnership. They're up about 57 to 102% year over year, it looks like, and they hold about a 20% market share. We have seen some CGC Star Wars cards been creeping in. A few hits here and there, but I think there's like gaining some interesting traction. I'm putting together a very large order myself. Now, I was talking to JP beforehand, side quest here. There's 3 different tiers with CGC when you sign up for them, right? There's like a free version, so you pay like the prices that they post on there. They have a middle tier, which essentially is $159, but you get that in credit towards grading and 10% off of grading services with that tier level, right? This is for a 1-year membership. And then at the highest level, it's about $329, right? With still a $159 credit towards grading and a 20% discount off of grading per. Now, where that threshold meets of what membership makes sense for me, as soon as you grade after 100 cards, then that top tier makes sense. So over the course of a year, if you think you're going to grade, less than 100 cards, then the middle tier is really good because you can still capture from what you paid for that membership and get the credit towards it in 10% discount fees. But if you want to send out a lot of slabs, like some select few out there, myself included, then you want to get the top tier, so you really can start capitalizing on the discounts, right? And hopefully capture some of this before more price increases yet again, right? There's been a lot of pain in terms of the general price to grade a card, especially for set registry, or completionists or entire set stuff. It's absolutely brutal. I now have 6 cases filled with graded cards just behind me That doesn't include the graded cards in my cases, in my closet, and the large bins and boxes of slabs I have in the basement. Yeah, it's been taking up a lot of space. So I'm definitely one of those people who grades a lot of cards. So I kind of weighing in like, what do I want to submit all at once? And yeah, so you can determine what's best for you and what your collecting goals are. Definitely have a goal. Definitely have a goal. Otherwise, you're just going to spend everything and be broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in which this, in some cases, they might make more sense. Now, going back to the market share, Beckett graded about 140,000. They did surge in May, 49% month over month, but they're about the same in June from where they stood. And they have about 4% market share, but they are up about 70 to 145% year over year. So nice. They did get some of that spillage, let's call it, from PSA, but not too much. It does look like CGC has taken a bigger chunk of some of that spillage. SGC is actually down 50,000 last month. They're down 75% year over year, and they only hold about 2% market share. Really, SGC's pre-vintage 1970s sports cards. It's like,
correct.
If you really feel a need to grade with them, I don't know. I definitely don't see as many of those out and about, especially with more modern things. And by more modern, I'm really saying like after the 90s, 2000s, like very uncommon to see SGC slabs. And then Tag still is closed as well. I mean, they did 50,000 graded cards and up 40% year over year, and they still hold about 2% market share. I do really like their slabs, and I am paying attention to when they come back because I'd love to submit more cards. It's just a really clean, clear, minimalist look. But I'm not paying $80 plus to grade a single card right now if I don't have to. So I'm just being patient and riding out the summer, let them catch up a bit and grow a bit. But what is your take on some of the spillage or what you've seen now that there's been a little bit more restricting? Are people just not grading? Are they going other places? What's kind of your consensus, JP?
Yeah, what I'm seeing is people are just pausing. They're just waiting on hold to kind of see what PSA is going to do. It's usually when PSA opens up the floodgates again. A lot of people go to PSA, but it also, for some reason, people go to the other grading services as well. I really like to hear that CGC and Tag are making a move up. They're both super clean and beautiful slabs. It's hard to not put one in your hand and just say, like, the CGC slab may be the most beautiful slab that's on the market today. So I'd love to see it I've seen them with Pokemon, other TCG, Star Wars. I know Serge and some of our Canadian experts have used CGC. But even in the sports card world, I've seen a huge uptick in more of those that were for sale. So, and they're pretty comparable. I don't want to
for CGC, you're saying? For
CGC.
For more modern sports cards, you're saying?
For more modern sports cards. There was a Topps got the contract for the NBA this year, and it's just happened to be the perfect storm with this rookie class, including Cooper Flagg, if you have not heard of him. They went absolutely nuts. Lots of cards went in for grading. It broke some record. I have to go find that statistic about Cooper Flagg having more grades than any other sports player in history in his first rookie year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane. CGC has really done a really good job of stepping up and doing a fine job of hanging with the industry standards too. Because I mean, we all know, we've seen all those other off brands, and it seems like everything's a perfect 10, and you look at the card on the inside and it's terrible. It wouldn't even be a 7 or 8. And so you can't trust all the companies that are out there. They have to be vetted. So these companies are being vetted. They've been in the market for a while, and people are trusting their services. So I'd say keep your eye on Tag and CGC. And if you get tired of waiting, go with those. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. And so is Kyle. Kyle's going to do CGC. So,
yeah. And, I don't really want to go too far down the rabbit hole with Pokemon, but it'd be remiss not to mention it, given how many of those cards get graded, right? Now, what did come across my desk in terms of like figuring out, okay, what is the return on, grading on CGC versus, PSA stuff or Beckett, right? For more modern cards, right? And ultimately looking at like an average sampling of like numerous different card prices, modern cards are pricing very close to what the PSA 10s were. And in some cases, for English cards, a CGC Pristine is surpassing PSA 10 because it's seen as much harder to get, right? And it should, right? Just like a black label would demand more. It's been around longer, and I think people hold that to a higher pedigree. And the odds of getting a black label, it's like 1.4% or something, right? From out of the gems, right? So it's very small and very elusive. Now, I'm not saying CGC Pristine is going to hit where a black label is per se, but it should command a premium slightly higher. And what we've seen is it has, right? The market is recognizing that CGC does hold some value, and their 10s, are being recognized, pricing wise, somewhere between like a 9 and I guess a 9.5, right? But like close. But the biggest value piece is, especially with these cards that change in value a lot. Now, Star Wars CCG, maybe not as much, but the ones that do, because the turnaround time is so much quicker, we're seeing these modern cards, whether that's modern sports cards, right? And modern Pokemon, is being graded by these companies that can turn around quicker, because a lot changes in the 6, 7, 10, 12 months, right? You might have one value piece, and then a year later, like maybe it's tanked or maybe it's not there anymore. But if you get your cards back in a month, right, like that's a big game changer, right? And I think that value piece for grading something to get it back is pretty nice too, like nobody likes to submit. I mean, God, when I was submitting $2 bills, it might take almost 2 years, you'd like forget like they were even there. You're like, oh my God, I have this. But PSA is not far behind from that. And like, that is annoying. And then you have all these people that are like, PSA sucks. It's got the bad press and stuff. And I like to have a mix of stuff. I like having, some Beckett's and tags and CGC and PSA. And this is across different things beyond Star Wars CCG. I'm just prefacing that. But you can't beat some of these turnaround times. And if their service remains good and they're accepted throughout some of these other hobbies and locations, then it's a pretty strong outlook. It looks pretty good.
And HGA may be coming back.
So yeah, I have been poking around that. I don't have any news to launch yet, but UCollect did buy HGA, and their plan is to roll out for specific sports cards later this year. It could be any moment where they make some bigger announcement, really, but I'm guessing maybe in the fall before they expand to other sports and then going into different TCGs and like slowly bringing that back. I'm cautiously optimistic, but like I was telling JP before this call came on, my HGA slabs are still in my display case, and they're actually still my favorites. I hate to say it, like I just like them. They look cool. They don't deserve to be in a box, like I have plenty of slabs in a case. I don't need to look at them all the time, but these look pretty cool. Just saying. Anyways, that's my 2 cents on where the market kind of is with some of these grading companies. I do hope Tag can turn back on soon. They can't get big enough quick enough.
Yep.
But they're cool. I want to see more of those. Any final thoughts before we wrap up here, JP?
No, it's just been a good month in sales, good month in engagement. It's been one of the best. It was a fun competition, and it's just been a good month. And as the summer starts to unfold, we'll see. Things might slow down. People are going to take vacations and do other things with their money, and we'll ease into the fall and winter. But it's been pretty healthy summer so far, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, congrats to the winners. Look forward to your Jabba's Palace submissions. Enjoy summer. Go outside. Don't stress about grading cards too much over the summer. But be sure to check out the CGC website if you plan on grading a lot of cards. And we'll see you in the next update. Deuces.